What is going on? What is going on? SOSP. Man, it's the first long form video we gonna do. And we just gonna get into this Bible work, right? We're gonna get right with Jesus and really break everything down. So today I want to walk through Proverbs chapter 22 because this chapter is loaded with wisdom that isn't just spiritual, it's practical. It's actually about how life works. It's not vibey, it's not trendy, it's just reality. So let's just get right into it. Um, so breaking it down by sections, guys, there's a lot of sections in this chapter. There's a lot of breakthroughs and takeaways that I personally had. And so let's get to it. Let's get to it. So Proverbs chapter 22 starts with this. Starts with this first verse. So a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. A lot of times we think that just because, you know, we have a great bank account or we have this status or we have this money that it outdoes everything else. But in reality, your character got you into the room, which will be a breakdown later, which will be a PowerPoint later. I don't want to, gatekeep too much, but I also don't want to, we got drop, don't we want to drop all this other stuff. Your reputation matters more than your bank account. Who you are as a person, how you stand for everything, how you fall for nothing. It matters more than what's in your bank account. There's a lot of poor people that have great reputation, that they're good in every room they walk into. And there's people that are well off that don't have great anything, right? So it's like, how are you well off but you have bad character? Your character outlives your money. A lot of times Jesus breaks it down like, yo, how good is it or what good is it if you can't even make it, you have all this money, all this wealth, but who's going to come get it, right? Which is, I think, in Luke chapter 12, he breaks down. So, which will be a different video. And wealth without integrity always expires faster than people expect, right? All this bread that you have, and at the end of the day, it's like, but because you're not a good person, it's not going to last long. It's just not, right? Do you want to be wealthy quick, or do you want to get rich quick, or do you want to be wealthy for a minute? You know what I mean? Do you want to be wealthy forever, and do you want it to last generations? Like we have to really think about that as we get into the text. So God is saying who you are when nobody's watching, that matters more than what you own when everybody is. Who you are when nobody's watching matters more than what you own when everybody is. I think that's very astounding as we get into this text. Um, so it's the second section talks about prudence and simplicity, right? The next verses say the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. This is not about intelligence. This is not about how smart you are to get in and out of certain situations. It's about discernment. It's about what you see. It's about how you spiritually see certain situations and having the wisdom to recognize that the danger that comes early. Immaturity ignores warning signs because something feels exciting. All that glorifying dopamine rush that we get when we go outside into the nightlife and we don't really see what's to come. And a lot of times, we see and we don't care. A lot of times we see and we don't really take the time to understand the gravity of the situation. Um, it's but yeah, it's fleeting, right? And when it's fleeting, and at the end of it, you put yourself in a hole. It's kind of crazy. Um, the Bible does not glorify handling temptation, it glorifies avoiding it. It applies to environments, people, situations, relationships. If you keep walking into chaos, eventually chaos sends you the bill. There's an invoice for everything that you do. There's an invoice for everything wrong and right that you do. There's an invoice for the things that you continue to embrace, and there's an invoice for everything that you continue to entertain, right? A lot of times we see ourselves into situations because we just ignore what God has told us to do. Um, a lot of our stuff isn't even demons. I think it's just truly bad decision making. Um, a lot of people talk about, oh, the devil did this and the devil did that. No, like you just decided to rock out with a girl you shouldn't have, or be around people you shouldn't have, or gamble your money away, or not handle what you're supposed to handle. And as a result, we dig the hole, we make the bed, we gotta lay in it. So that's just a little breakdown of that section. In the paths of the wicked are snares and pitfalls, but those who guard our life, stare their life, stay far from them. Wickedness doesn't always look evil at first. Sometimes it looks fun, so popular, but there's always traps involved. Wisdom doesn't flirt with danger. Wisdom preserves momentum. How many times have we got momentum in our life and like people that shouldn't be in our lives always try to come back? People that distractions always come up every single time. It seems like as a person under 30 happens that like all of us all the time. So it's like, but there's a reason why you got the momentum, and there's another reason why you stay with that momentum. Um, and a lot of times you want to go have your fun, you want to go have your cake and eat it too, but at the end of the day, just when you get the results of everybody, and it's funny, like especially as an entrepreneur, like it's crazy because a lot of times we deal with sometimes being walking the narrow road and being the only one in the room. And it's like, all right, but what everyone else is doing, you're going to receive everyone else's lifestyle. And do you really want everyone else's lifestyle? The answer is no. So, like, why would you continue doing it? It just doesn't make sense. But we continue doing it because of the dopamine rush, because of it's fun, it's social, like we're a part of something, like we're a part of the world, and we become that. But God calls us to be to not be to be in the world, but not of the world. You know what I mean? There is a setting apart that we have to walk on. And so it's kind of very interesting as we continue to understand that passage and more importantly that sentence, that verse, that we are reminded of why we do what we do and why we're called to where we're called as Christians. Then we hear a verse everyone knows. I had to put in. Everyone knows it, right? Start off children the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not return from it. It's not about just making kids Christian, because that's all we take it as. Well, start off with children the way they should go. Like you hear pastors all the time. Parents, start off with children the way they go. They're old and not return from it. It's like, no, but it's about formation. It's about integrity, discipline, responsibility, and truth. What's formed early becomes instincts later, right? How many times have we seen terrible kids? But because they didn't have mom and dad at home or a tribe at home or people at home with good intentions and well needed and well deserved intentions and spiritual intentions, that kid is raised in that way. That kid is raised as a result of what happens when you don't care about your life. You pass it on to your children. People think, oh, well, we don't believe in generational curses and we don't believe in those type of things. But I mean, how many times in the Bible have we seen people fall because of what their parents did not do or did not repent of? How many times have we seen parents not pass along things and inheritance to their children? How many times have we seen kids be raised without integrity, discipline, responsibility, and truth? I mean, look at the youth today. Look at the youth today. So it's kind of crazy. So this next one is money and debt, and it breaks that down. So it talks about the rich rule over the poor, the borrower is slave to the lender, right? And it's crazy because it's like when I was reading this, I was like, it's so funny. A lot of people think that this is um, a result of like capitalism and all these other things, but capitalism, as far as we know it, has always been around. Just because it's a modern thing and a modern phrase doesn't mean that like the concepts and principles hasn't been there forever, right? In historical context, if you go far into history, I mean, what is trade and barter? I mean, people were trading cows for wives, people were and husbands, and people were trading all kinds of stuff on the Silk Road. But also like it's going far as back into Jesus' time. I mean, as you guys read, you guys will understand like what how money was moved and exchanged, right? Because we didn't have like currency as we know it now, or even crypto and all these things. So the rich rule over the poor and borrow saves the lender. It's about reality. It's not shaming, it's not meant to be shaming, but it's about reality. Debt limits freedom, dependency shifts power. This has always been true. It's not modern, it's ancient wisdom. The goal isn't to be prideful, the goal is to be a steward, right? We love that word stewardship until it's time to actually understand and do it, right? So, um, a lot of the credit card debt, right? We are in a world of debt right now as a nation with credit card debt. uh, People living above their means, people continuing to cry about how much money they're making, yet their lifestyle is not the best. People continuing to sell for short-term gain and sell short things and make their money out of whatever it's a stock market, whatever the case may be, and continuing not to invest for long-term stability. Um, God gives money, God gave us money as an ability to use as a tool, right? And it goes back to the parable of the talents, right? Did you bury it? Did you use it? Did you multiply it? That's all that matters, right? So the goal is to multiply. The goal is to multiply. Justice and generosity. Scripture warns that whoever sows injustice reaps calamity. Exploitation always collapses eventually. Manipulation has a shelf life. And then it also breaks down that the generous themselves will be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. Um, and there's a dynamic here between injustice and generosity. So, um, as far as the injustice goes, people who exploit and manipulate people don't have longevity. I don't care what anyone says. Like people can say, well, how much longer will evil continue to do evil? Well, as long as one, you allow it. Manipulation has a shelf life, but exploitation, it's going to expose themselves. God has the upper hand. God has all, sees all, understands all, and his vengeance is his, it's not ours. So in time, it's going to show its hand. Um, and generosity itself. I mean, it's funny because it's like we had this whole Drewski thing. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, like this guy showed out and mocking Jesus," but it was just mock. I think a lot of times it was mocking modern day church. I think it was mocking modern day people that are on these pulpits that perform, right? How many times have we seen performative Christianity in general? People that are loud, people that view, oh, well, I gave to this person because they didn't have anything, and look at me, and use the phone. It's crazy, you know what I mean? Like they're just like, hey, hey, yo, I just found this money, and like you're doing it to be seen. You're doing it to get status, and it's the dumbest thing on the planet, and it's really exposes who you are and where your heart posture is. And that's not what God calls us to be. For generosity isn't performative; it's quiet. You don't give to be seen. Do not know what your left hand do. You're not, separate your left hand from your right hand. You give because someone needs it, and you trust God to cover you. Giving upwards for status is foolish. Giving downward out of compassion is wisdom, right? Like you're good, and as a result of you being good, hey man, here's 15, here's 20, go get yourself lunch. Here's 50, cover. Here's 100 for a bill or whatever. Like you cover it. As a church, we should strive to cover other people when we are blessed, to always give, not because we need to be, it makes us feel better, but because it covers God's people. Um, Drive out the mocker and out goes strife. Mockers poison environments, turn sincerity into sarcasm, and thrive on division. Removing them isn't arrogance, it's protection. Peace returns when mockery leaves. A lot of times we surround ourselves with people who continue to think everything is a joke, never always make light of a serious situation, never understand the gravity of this worth, and the one life that we have to give. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like this ain't just about having fun, bro. Like you gotta really lock in. Like lock in. And if you don't have people around you that lock in, come on, man. Like it's what are we doing? What are we doing? Proverbs says, "One who loves a pure heart and speaks with grace will have the king for a friend." Like I said before in the very beginning, back to the first section, like character opens doors that money can't. A lot of times, like I said, like you can buy yourself into situations, but your character will sustain it. And like I said before, it's about the longevity of everything. Who are you when no one sees you, right? Grace earns trust. Integrity builds influence. This isn't manipulation, it's alignment. A lot of people love to say that they have grace, but when it comes down to it, they don't. A lot of people think that, well, I have integrity because they want something like, but those like the meek shall inherit the earth. So those who are humble, those who have a pure heart, those who extend a lot of grace and patience to other people despite their own faults and the other person's faults, those people have favor in the Lord. You know what I mean? Um, and those people gain influence not just in, for the earth, and sometimes they don't. But it's like, do you want influence for the earth, or do you want influence for the kingdom of heaven? Like, do you want to actually save lives, or do you want to just like not really save lives? I mean, it's up to you. It's really up to you. The sluggard says that there's a lion outside. Fear is often an excuse. Avoidance stresses itself as caution. Discipline produces progress. Excuses preserve comfort. You know, yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, a lot of times we don't love to put ourselves out there out of fear that we will be wrong, and fear that we'll stink, fear that we will not be good enough. And a lot of that is insecurity. God's not giving us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and sound mind. So like we know that spirit is not of the Lord. So it's like, why are you hiding yourself and not doing what you're supposed to do? You know, and avoiding it is defense, right? Stop playing life on defense. Play life on offense. We have it once. Like go all in. Discipline produces progress. Excuses preserve comfort. It goes back to like one of the first sections, when we break it down about like the simple-minded person, right? The simple-minded person does what? They put themselves in the hole. When you put yourself in a hole, that progress that you have done goes out the window. I mean, especially as a trader. I mean, I talk to people all the time, and they're like, um, I lost this much, I blew my account, and it's like, yo, basically like, yo, you did all this time working this hard and sticking to your trading plan, sticking to your investment plans, and sticking to all these things, and you just like blew it up for what? Because you had ego? Like really? So ego cost you 6 months of hard work. Like like, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy. Even the gym, it's like 5, 6 weeks cost you a year. You fell off. Like it's kind of crazy. Um, so you won't get anywhere with excuses. Like just go out and put in the work and put in the reps. Sexual wisdom. So the mouth of an adulterous woman is a deep pit. A man under the Lord's wrath falls into it. So I just want to make this clear. This is not about gender. I know a lot of people, especially in the past, when I told people and opened up about my walk with God, people were like, "Oh, so you're a Christian? So aren't you like misogynistic?" I'm like, "No, like the Bible does not teach about misogyny. I don't know what you think about." The Bible does talk about order and stuff like that, but that's different. That has nothing to do with it. So this isn't about gender, it's about lust without covenant. Sexual temptation doesn't destroy you instantly, it erodes your clarity. Wisdom doesn't flirt, wisdom flees, right? God calls us to flee from all lust, flee from all um, sexual temptation, flee from it. Don't put yourself in a position where you should even be in that situation. Um, and wisdom doesn't flirt, right? A lot of times when you don't allow someone to touch up on you all the time, you're not filled with those pheromones, you're filled with that dopamine. And like I said, like you're able to think clear about your life and like what you want and who you want with you. And it doesn't destroy you instantly. That's why sometimes like a lot of people that fall into that lifestyle, like I've done it in the past, where like you continue to um you continue to do this, but at the same time it's like over years and years and years it does take away from you. And only God can restore that, and only God can give you that back, but you have to be repentant of it. This is one of the things I think, I mean, everything needs repentance, excuse me, but at the end of the day I think this particular stronghold and sin, you need real repentance from, and continuous repentance from, and continued work on. So folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but discipline drives it far away. Correction isn't cruelty, it's protection. Love without discipline creates entitlement. Discipline without love creates resentment. Wisdom balances both. And this is not just about relationships. This is friendships. This is the relationship with yourself, right? How many times in life have we um, heard from God and God said no and closed that door? But it wasn't because you were able to receive. It was for your protection before you went down a road that you could probably not come back from. He sees everything. He sees around the corner. We only see to the corner, right? So discipline without love creates resentment. Even with ourselves, how many times have we grind, and did all that, but we didn't set back and live in God's glory and walk with God? Like there's a resentment for when we don't reach those goals. There's a resentment when we don't go after those very things and receive that. And vice versa. Like when you are all about love and everything, and you have no discipline, you think God owes you something. Like you think God owes you the world, and life owes you everything, but that's not true. And when you walk in wisdom, when you start to really be intimate with the Lord and really pray and really break things down, like in a sense, not only do you get that balance of, but you have love and discipline. When you have love and discipline, you can tap into both and really create the best of both worlds, whatever that is for you. Exploitation. So Proverbs is very clear on this. So once again, do not exploit the poor because they are poor, for the Lord will take up their case. God personally defends the vulnerable. Vengeance belongs to him. Justice is not optional. Our form of justice is not God's form of justice. God exposes when it's time to be exposed. And I think a lot of us need to understand that, and a lot of us need to just let God handle it and focus on what he called us to focus on. He did not focus on us to become keyboard warriors. He focused on us to really just be stewards of his word, not, stewards of his word and stewards of the blessings he's bestowed upon us, right? Like look at what he's given us. Like let's rock out, you know. And like I said, the Lord's got us. The Lord's got those who are being talked bad on and attacked. God got you. God really got you. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Anger is contagious. Who you keep shapes close, how you react under pressure. Sometimes distance is wisdom, not betrayal. A lot of us need to break free from people who love folly and people who are quick to anger and people who are crash outs. I'm just gonna say it, crash outs. Don't be friends with crash. People crashing out and they may not do crash out in action, but crash out in spirit. Like walk away from them. You don't need to be friends with them, and you can be on the other side and love them from a distance. It's not betrayal. Just because you were loyal to certain people and you were friends forever does not need you. You don't need to be on that timing. You don't. You really don't. It don't benefit you, especially if something to lose. It's just not. It's not it. Not it. Do not pledge what you cannot pay. Integrity means your words are reliable. Don't say things your life can't cash. Don't speak things over your life that you aren't doing. If you know and do not do, you you were down bad, and that hurts you. And your word is not bond, right? It goes back to the first section. A good name is better than silver and gold. So, like, what's a part of integrity? Meaning you're a man or woman of your word. Um, do not move ancient boundary stones. This is not just about land, even though I took it as just about land, but it's not. It's about respecting moral, spiritual, communal boundaries that preserve order, right? It's about order. Short-term gain often destroys long-term stability. Everybody in his life wants to get rich quick. Everybody sees everything on Instagram, but it's like, yo, you did not see the work that person did to even get there. One and two, that should even be the person you should even like look up to. You should look up for the person that was like, yo, I had this wealth for 30 or 40 years and I get to pass it on. So it's kind of crazy how we think about like we don't want order. We just want what we want and we want to be successful now. And we don't really care about tomorrow. But everything's about tomorrow. But tomorrow's never finished. No, but you're supposed to save a rainy day. Like he even says, like, save your money for a rainy day for tomorrow. It's about long term stability. It's not about your cloud and your game and your fame and your game. Um so Proverbs 22 closes with skill work, mastery. Do you see someone skilled in their work, for they will serve before kings? I just want to say, guys, you got to master your craft. Like, even this is my first long form video. I look forward to, I want to put up like 100 to like almost 1,000 videos this year between short and long form content to like really see how good I can get at this, right? And just to see how good of a communicator, just how like good I can be, right? Same thing with my day trading, same thing with me in the word, like master your craft. Whatever God, if you're good with your hands, be good with your hands. If you're good with your mind, be go to be great with your mind. If you're good with your mouth and speaking, like use it. Excellence attracts opportunity. Value creates influence. Mediocrity hides. And skill elevates. It shows, man. If you're a pro's pro, like you're always gonna find work. I don't care what anyone says. Like that's why we have a lot of people that really don't like make money or not so much make money. We have a lot of people that are like struggling to find opportunity, but it's because you don't have any other valuable skills of your own outside of what you did, or you just didn't work on the skill that you had. Once again, when God gives you something, when God entrusts you with something, it is your responsibility to put in the work. So just a reminder, especially in this year, I think this is just a great chapter for this year all around just bag work. Like, get in your bag, but think long term. Don't be around bad people. Like really understand how life works. So this just goes to my final closing. Um, and this whole thing about is just reminding us to be strong, reminding us to be grounded. Um, Proverbs 22 isn't just about being religious. It's about learning how reality works under God. Wisdom isn't flashy, it's protective, and if you live by it long enough, you don't just survive, you stand. You stand. You stand on your foundation. You stand to survive the storms that life brings. Um, you just stand, man. I love the book of Proverbs. It's literally one of my favorite books. It's probably my favorite overall book in the Bible. Like I just always learn as I do all this and really learn the word. So, guys, I just want to close off by saying I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your day. I will look to do more long form content. This will probably be in all tabs. So, like, as I do these tabs and as I get more chapters that I do reviews on in the Bible, you guys like the content, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything that you want to read or suggest that we do reviews on or whatever, let me know in the comments. You could DM me on Instagram at SnipePass. Same thing. I just want to start just pushing out the word, man, in 2026. I think that is something that, we have a lot of people that do these educational sources, but I feel like with a lot of people not understanding how the Bible really works, and not understanding like the breaking down the Bible so you can understand it, so you can guys can go read it yourself and really understand like the gravity of the con of like what we have. Like this book is like it's just life changing, bro. It's really just life changing. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you on the next video. Peace.